So if you want to reach God, then gradually God has been telling people the way to progress. First, the society was not capable of understanding the fuller messages of God. So Christ brought no religion. Moses brought 10 commandments. But when Muhammad came, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, God wrote one special sentence in the Quran. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum. I finished religion with this man. And atmamtu alaykum ni'mati. And I finished the prophets also. So naturally, if you are a seeker, you have to make the same progress. From a small, simple understanding of religion, you have to go to more complications inside and outside. Religion was meant to resurrect the human. It is the easiest way to pass through earth. When we are born, we know we have to die. And how useless this life is, we also know. So it is a pity that when I earn a little money, I die. When I am mature in my wisdom, I die. Why don't you see this very simple system? We are not here to rule, to stay eternally. Not here to conquer the universe, because we are only crossed the threshold of even the first sky. So naturally we are for some other purpose. We are being examined, tested for a utopia. You call Jannah, you call hell or heaven, whatever. They are very, very big, huge, unimaginable vastness of the world. So we have to cross over. Only death can give us a crossover. I cannot be in this world and in heaven. I cannot be in this world and in the hell. So I have to cross over and qualify. And you know what God says? You have only one thing to qualify. Whether you believe in me or you don't. I've given you enough wisdom and all symptoms to understand that you should qualify for the understanding of God. And the easiest way was religion. You know when scientists, Ptolemy was wrong?
Sorry?
Have you read about sciences?
Have I read both?
Sciences?
The Christian and the...
No. Generally, have you read the sciences?
To a certain degree.
To some degree you know about cosmology?
Yes.
So Ptolemy was wrong? Ptolemy? Yeah, who was the first one.
The Greek.
And Copernicus was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They're wrong. But they don't abuse each other. Even we today appreciate Copernicus' effort to understand universe. We understand Ptolemy, and we say, though he was wrong, but in religions it was not the other way. Every religion and the people, every religion was the same. But the people started, possessing religion. And the worst were Jews. They made God a household thing. They didn't turn him as a universal creator. They just said he was born in a house. Yahweh is born in a house, he will die in a house. So God of Yahweh is dead. But God of Islam is eternal, God of Christianity is eternal. The God does not come out of the family of Jews. They say he's us. We are the chosen. So we chose our God and God chooses us. But we don't say the same thing. The eternal master has his own wishes, his own wills. He runs the universe, not me. He created me, I didn't create him. So this was the simple difference which could not be understood by our religious people. So scientists did not disagree with each other, though they were wrong. Scientists kept on accepting even the first and third efforts. They were wrong.
Right, so they always took a step and then another step.
Yes, but they didn't say Ptolemy was absolutely useless or wrong. They didn't say Pythagoras was wrong. They didn't say Aristotle was wrong. But in religion, this was otherwise. Every religious people who came, They said the first was wrong.
Right.
This process created hatred in human beings.
Right. So I think there's also a difference
So
between.
only being Muslims, we retained the first thing that we did not call any prophet wrong. I say Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, peace be on Moses. I say peace be on Christ. I say peace be my own prophet. So the study is just like an academic study. If you stop studying at, you see, middle class, primary class or matriculation, would you start calling all knowledge wrong?
No.
That's it. We have to learn more. This is kind of a pyramid, difficult to achieve, but we have to achieve. We have to do our PhDs. We have to do our post-graduations, graduations, middles and primaries. So what happened, particularly with the religious people, they stopped progressing. Christians stopped progressing. Jews stopped progressing. But we still need to learn more and more.
Right.
So our God told us and our Prophet told us, learn more and more. You will never stop with God. Always learning stops with everybody else, but not with God. He keeps on telling us, teaching us. Islam starts with one word, Iqra, read. This is the first ayah of Quran. It says read, no more, so that you be more, you see, open to the skies and earth. You will know more about creativity God has already done and is going to do in future. So that's the first thing. And what else?
Thank you. I've got a whole list of questions here, but I hope I don't have to ask all of them. But maybe we jumped right to an interesting point. So I've been in a line of Christian mystic called Daskalos from Cyprus for the last 10 years about.
What was his name?
Daskalos.
This is
Sure. This is a gentleman.
I see. Tell me one thing.
Yes.
There is a difference between spiritualism and mysticism. Mysticism is to be with God. Spiritualism is to have spiritual powers. So the mystics in the West cannot accomplish anything. How can somebody claim to be having a fuller knowledge of God without completing the full knowledge of his religion? How can a Christian be a mystic? Convince me. Do they have any such experience which can be called mystic experience?
I would claim so, yes.
No, you cannot. Possibly you cannot. But you have to tell me what was that.
Okay, so
What is the highest experience in Christianity? Mystic.
theosis. The fusion of the human soul with God itself.
Who would confirm it? I can easily say that this is not achievable by any Christian. Convince me, how can you?
So you're saying it is possible for a Muslim?
No, it's not possible. Half education cannot lead you to the ultimate results. I'll give you one example. Christians believe that Christ was crucified. Right? For example, the greatest experience of a Christian mystic, let me do this, Saint Assisi, Francis of Assisi. You see? She went into a lonely place and imagined all that beating, all that insults which Christ had. Let's see if they were not there, what kind of an experience would it? If Christ suffered no such thing, then what kind of experience it is?
Well, to a certain degree, just an imagination.
Let's say Aquinas is God in understanding Christian mysticism. But what would you say about the greatest mystic of all Christianity, Saint Aquinas and Saint the other one? And he say, "Oh Lord, give me chastity, but not yet." That's what he said. He doesn't want chastity, but it's the greatest. You see, he also said something very beautiful. Otherwise, also he said, "Disharmony is also harmony." Saint Thomas Aquinas and Saint Augustine. This is what Augustine said.
Yes.
They were the topmost mystics of Christianity.
And of course, there was Origin as well.
But would you also say, after you're this great mystic, "Oh Lord, I don't want to be chaste. Let me enjoy the world a little more and then I come to you." Isn't it clear that Augustine did not want that chastity which God needed? And he says, "Oh Lord, give me chastity, but not yet." So he's trying to fill up. Okay, I'm not yet over with my joys of the world. So I'm waiting till I grow old, till I grow miserably incapable of doing any sin, so then I'll come. And another one, Quran says, neither he was insulted, nor he was beaten, nor he was hanged. This is the truest information in the line of religion. But he was taken up by God, and he'll be back. In the days when we want to establish an argument on scientific attitudes. You are proud of being scientists. I have also sciences. And when you will reach your maximum, I'll send him from up there to tell you that you are all wrong. You are just mini-meters. You are nothing important. The one who created the universe, the one who created your earth and separated it from the universe, he is the greatest scientist of all times and worlds. So we have to see and find it. The truth we have to find. Unless we read the Quran, we are not sure that the standards being applied by the Christian mystic are true or not. And I told you, no Christian mystic can reach God. The reason is very simple. They believe Christ was hanged. They believe he was tortured. They believe he was passing through the bazaar and being abused. But Allah said, "No, I don't allow this thing to anybody to do it to my Prophet." So, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ. Neither he was murdered, nor he was put on the cross. So where would a Christian mystic's experience lie?
Well, I think that's the historical aspect, right? But as far as I understand, mysticism is more about the direct experience, not so much about what happened 2,000 years ago.
We all have direct experiences. But this is a part of ESP, extrasensory perceptions. Extrasensory perceptions are not a mystic experience. You know, with all those experiences, you try to gain powers. And with God, you want to lose powers. All my life, I have tried to lose everything in me. I don't want to be with me. If I am a mystic, I don't want to be with me. Because I know 88 million years old man, an animal is in me. I know this animal cannot stand in the way of God. So I want to get rid of me. I don't want any supernatural power. I don't want to change the skies. I just want that the God be kind to me and I pass through this difficult pathway and reach the ultimate utopia which God has created for me. That's all I'm saying. I love God. But whom does God love? I say I love God. I remember day in and day out. Look at this. This is not for powers. I really miss Him. If I lie vacant, I know I'll be in trouble. I miss Him day in, day out. But this doesn't mean that I need to be very powerful. I wish that I had no powers at all. I would just be a common, simple man finishing my journey safely. That's the difference between the mysticism in Islam and others. Other people are looking for spiritual concentrations and powers. They sit on like owls and imagine God is in their heart. God is nowhere. Let them. These experiences cannot be justified. Look at Mahatma Buddha, Siddhartha. You know about him? Siddhartha sat for 12 years. 12 years in the Hindu order of mysticism. He sat for 12 years. He is known as, you see, starving Buddha. He did so much practices in starvations. Then he rose up one day, he was like, oh, nobody has nothing in starving himself. You have to think. You have to think how to reach God. And only one book gives you the way to God. So that's why we are Muslims. I'm not Muslim because I'm born Muslim. I am a Muslim because I want God. I have studied all religions, every single word of them. But I know God cannot be found in any other religion. How can half-read be a man equal to a fully read man? Can you tell me any reason? How can be a matriculate understand the book of MSc classes? Unless until we completely finish the study of religions. We know what was gone past. If, listen to me, Buddha is a pacifist. He was a pacifist. He was here in Taxila along with us. When Hans attacked, there were 70,000 Buddhists here. They had to make a decision whether to fight back or to sacrifice their lives. They said what our teacher told us, not to fight, not to hit back. So 70,000 Buddhists were killed over here at Taxila. A real Buddhist will never be fighting because he knows killing and being killed are both equal. So, but when the Buddhist was in Rohingya, in Myanmar, how many Muslims did they kill?
A lot, I don't know.
And for what? And for what?
For no good reason.
For no reason.
Like any war so far.
So the religion was right. Religion was absolute. One part of the humans acted on that religion in Taxila and they sacrificed their lives. The same other part who called them Buddhists killed Muslims for no reason. It's up to us to understand religion. My prophet is called Rahmatan lil Alamin. He's a grace and blessing for all the human and non-human beings on earth and in skies. So my prophet never told us to do anything in excess. But my brothers and my sisters may be thinking on those. We only raised in the early eras of Islam, we raised the sword just to protect our own lives. That was the only thing allowed by our Prophet to us. And now he ordered one thing, even in battles, don't kill a woman, don't kill an old man, don't kill a child, don't destroy a crop which is of use to humans. All these battle orders were issued by Muhammad Rasulullah and nobody else.
But why is a man's life worth less than a woman's life?
Woman's life? Where?
When you can kill a young man, but you can't kill a woman.
But this is not ordered by any prophet. Neither Moses, nor Christ, nor us. It's not ordered. It is that you are understanding religion wrongly. Isn't it?
Maybe. I'm just quoting your examples from before.
Yes, I am understanding religion wrongly. That's what I'm ferocious and angry. I am a killer. My prophet was not a killer. No prophet was a killer. I am killer. I am the same barbaric, old, 88-year-old primate. I am a primate. I am a Homo sapien. I'm not a Homo sapien as such. I am a Homo erectus. I am Homo habilis. I have not yet become a Homo sapien in truth. Yeah.
Thank you. So, what kind of practices do you do to as you say, find this
No practice.
no practice.
You just be common. You see, the greatest, if you really want to know how to love, then you will understand what God wants. Have you ever loved?
Yes.
You miss your beloved? You still?
Sometimes.
You know what? The only test of love is whom you miss more. Let's say if you belong to, or you had 3 to 4 affairs, and you had to make a decision. Okay, whom do you love? So you have to go to seclusion and say, that's all there's. But I cannot tolerate this girl's separation. So you miss somebody you miss more, you really love her. This is the only test. If you want to know who do you love more, you have to go think in seclusion and think about that. If she is not with me, how do I feel? If she is not with me, how do I feel? If she is not with me, whom your heart wants more, without whom you cannot live in peace, you love more. So when you want to love God, Allah says, miss me more than anybody else and I'll be with you. Do you think your teachers, everybody else, they love God so much, they can't live without Him? Look at this. The day I started loving Him, you can say you should be sorry about this. You can tell me. But because I never thought I could love Him so much, I cannot stay without Him for a moment. I miss Him. I really miss Him. The day I don't miss it, I have 99 names of God with me. And they're all beautiful. There is not a single name which annoys me. They are such a concept of aesthetic beauty. So I said, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Kareem. You are graceful, you are magnificent, you are beneficent, you are so kind. I love you. So I say, Ya Salam, Ya Mu'min, Ya Allah. You are the one who gives peace to my mind. You are the one who gives peace to my heart. You are the only source of all kind of comforts to my heart and mind. So I love you. I say, I've been betrayed by so many women. I have not been betrayed by you. I have betrayed you. I know where the beauty lies. I know where the center of attraction of the whole universe lies. I know that you are the only one to be loved you because I've seen humans. I've seen power, I've seen everything. Everything is dirty. Only you, my Lord God, you are the purest. I cannot be that pure. I'm always telling you, I cannot be that pure. So give me a touch of at least that purity. I can enjoy your companionship. So that's why Allah, you know what say? He in return says, only the most learned can be with me. So he tells me, read more, understand more, try to look into the human heart, try to look outside, and then you will know.
So for you, it's really finding a direct understanding through the mind first, and then slowly cleaning up all the misunderstandings and.
وَمَنْ عَرَفَ نَفْسَهُ فَقَدْ عَرَفَ رَبَّهُ. That who knows himself, only he knows God. So I have to know what complexes do I have. Whether you see I'm a narcissist, I'm an exhibitionist. I have to know. Because these are those things that they dodge me in the way of God. We think we are being spiritualists or we are being mystics. But the gates of understanding are closed. Even a hairbreadth of any kind of, egocentricity will put you out. How would you think about yourself, whether you are thinking about God or thinking about yourself? Why? You see, the second rule is there is no sympathy. I don't sympathize with myself. I don't have to. I know what I am. How can I sympathize? When I see a criminal, I say my and his chemistry is the same. How it is that I am an honorable, respectable gentleman? And how is it that he is behind the bar for killing and crushing so many people? What is the reason? There is no reason. The circumstantial evidence is the same about us. While his parents were, why I wasn't born in his place? So mystics acceptance is cosmic. And mystics acceptance is cosmic. It is not only limited to the earth. So I look at it, see, the great enemy of mind is Satan. But not in physically, he's not with me, he's not in front of me, he can touch me, I cannot touch him. But there is one more major reason that I sympathize with him. He's a defeated enemy of mine. He matched with me. He could not qualify. He's a bad loser. So I am in his place. Now he is trying to misguide me all the time. So that the battle I have won, I should lose at another stuff. But I'm careful because I know there's a lot of me who cooperates with Satan. There's a lot of me who wishes for God, but he cooperates with Satan. So we have to know ourselves. If we don't know ourselves, we lose this battle.
Yes, thank you. So that actually brings me to my next question. Jinns.
I'm talking about it then.
Exactly, that's what. Yes. So I was wondering.
This is again, and I will be once God started creation, he was such a super engineer. Everything which is created on earth or in sky is like it's robotic. So he was creating some very special robotic creations. And angels were devoid of, making decisions on their own. They were like supercomputers. They could not make any such decision or any such thing which could tell them that this is good and bad. So they were just given a single authority. They had to obey what they hear. That's all. Now he created another kind of a robotic creation, and that was called jinn. He created them from the gases inversely proportional to each other. Their age was long. And you know what, let me tell you, have you ever seen the flame of oxygen? They were created from those flames. Those flames, he was created.
So they're fire-based?
Yes, they were fire-based, they were created from fire, but they didn't have body. They can create an image of body. You can look at them. They might look like you, they like, oh, look by me. They can create an image because it's just an energy. It's a vision of energy. They can stay in the universe, I would say in this world, they can stay about 1,500 to 3,000 years. But actually, they have no base on earth. So they have to find some kind of existence to enter in. Let's say dogs, sometimes cats, sometimes you see these scorpions, they are mostly in snakes. And they don't have a place to live like us. But since we were thrown on earth, we were all very spiritual. So we needed a body on earth because we were the only constant inhabitants of earth. So we had to be in some body. So he started creating a body on the earth. When Adam was thrown, there are different words. Below the sky, an insan was born, insan. But on the sky, it was Adam. So Adam came, and this dichotomy of spirit and physical was created. Like you see, Will Durant says, and like Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi says, they are two, one is scientist and one is saint. And the saint and scientist both agree that we lay on earth for 50,000 years. Then a spark came from the sky, it fell on the forehead. That's what Will Durant, the scientist. And our mind increased. our mind was equivalent to the capuchin monkey. So in the third month of this creation, a child's brain, a human child's brain, and a monkey's brain in the same. It's one protein, it's 1220. This protein gets stopped in monkeys, but it keeps on working in humans. When we are 6 months, the monkey is not the same way progressing in that protein. So that protein causes our brain to grow heavier, bigger, more activated, and that's the human child separated right from the very beginning. He gets separated from the monkeys. So we don't believe in Darwinianism because of one thing. His arguments are not sufficiently correct. Let's say if you consider giraffe as somewhere in history, his neck as prolonged, and that's his mutation.
Right, that's Lamarck a little bit.
We have a question. Was there only one animal who used to eat the grass or leaves? There were thousands others. Why didn't their necks progress? So it's illogical when he says such kind of mutations are biological. Now almost everybody is now rejecting him, and new Darwinianism is coming. But he was a good scientist. Somewhere we agree with climatic mutations, we agree with him. But as far as creation of human beings is concerned, it is more understandable in the books of God rather than with him. Because it's not a question of, the truth is that which is simple and easily understandable. So what God tells us is more easy, more understandable. Nobody else yet crossed God's mind that he should bring a better argument. Does anybody else claim also that I've created the universe?
That you created?
No.
For who?
Does anybody else except God?
I haven't met anybody so far.
So the rule of law is that we have to judge him. We have to check him. If you have created the universe, then you should be ultimately right. So my thesis was a little different. If a man made 1,000 mistakes, still remains a man. But if God makes one mistake, he is no more God. This was my thesis when I started my life initially to search for God. This was my basic thesis.
Have you found the mistake so far?
No, I'm sorry. I'm not free. I've spent my 50 years in this, but I'm sorry to say, I've read, because we have a book of data with us. We have a book. People say God does not have any particular personal data on earth, but we have it. It's the Quran. So I've been reading the Quran till 30, 50 years, with best of my efforts to prove it wrong. Sorry, I failed. Sorry. I want to be free.
But maybe that's what a good scientist does. He tests
I
the
have
thesis
never
over and over again.
I will never sipped even a drop of the Chateaubriand. I wish I would have done it if God was wrong. But I couldn't possibly know. So the other problem is that the more you are educated, the more you are with God and prophet. The lesser educated people may turn out to be atheists. Because the entire argument, I've seen 7 big arguments of the atheism. But virtually they were not worth even smaller consideration. They were logical positivists, they were communists, they were skeptical understandings, and many others, those who were not believing there is God or there is no God. But nobody ever searched God. No atheist has ever searched God. Is there any department on God or any university of the world which seeks the search of God? The search of religion is there. But nobody admitted any student who went to the vice chancellor said, I want to search God. Is there any department which you say, I can?
Probably not. That used to be the monastery in the old days.
Sorry, I need this.
Of course, enjoy.
You want to?
No, thank you.
Okay.
So, I mean, that used to be the monasteries in the old days,
It's a
right?
thought booster with me. So, Angela, what else? What other questions?
I
Because
guess,
I guess if you allow me, we can make it, we can talk.
Can we take a break for, of course, yes.
sorry, I don't finish.
Then we'll come
Yes,
back.
absolutely.
You
Yes.
want something to you refresh or you want water? Anything? Body there.
Water, yes,
Body
please.
there.
Please, okay. So one thing I was wondering, we were talking about the body before a little bit. Are there any practices to make the body more
No
translucent?
question. Why can't I stay normal? My prophet said, be normal. And if you cannot attain the perfect normalcy, try to be closer to it. So this is the rule, you see, which he exhibited in his life. This is the rule which we want to exhibit. There are no particularities. Mystic is only mystic by thought, not by his body. So our deeds, the best teacher is closer to education. The best, you see, appreciation of my prophet was that he was closer to the every single word he taught. So we consider that if you really want to be a normal human being, you should be closer to your thoughts. You should enact your thoughts in your. So Baudelaire once said,
Baudelaire, yes, French.
he said, a writer's every word is an act of generosity. A writer's every word is an act of generosity. But we say, mystics, every act is an act of generosity.
So I was wondering, because Christ was a lot of the work he did was healing people, lepers.
But that's
people were
not
sick.
important.
Yeah.
That's not important
But
because
it's
every prophet is a healer. Every
But
prophet.
is it also part of the Sufi path?
But it was special with him.
But should we learn to heal as?
It is not learning.
Yeah.
Don't know this is not learning. This is your dua. If you will pray, I guarantee, I must say, if you will honestly and sincerely pray for one of your human beings, he will be cured.
So this is, yeah.
You are not a doctor, but you are a well-wisher who will wish good for the other, it will be enacted. Inshallah.
Thank you.
So over here, without any claims, we see about hundreds of people every day, and 70% of them are sick because of some reason. So we only suggest cure, we pray for them, and Alhamdulillah, by the Almighty Allah's grace, they are cured, they are fine.
So what do you say, as human beings, do we just have one life? We are born, we live, we die, and that's it? Or do we reincarnate? Do we have multiple cycles?
There's a reason for this. We don't have to come back again. It's enough life to be judged. You see.
So a single life.
Do you think everybody comes back to the examination hall after giving his paper?
Well, maybe you have a primary school examination, then you have a middle school examination, then you have university
Do
examination.
we go back again and again?
No,
No,
no.
there's no
You
reason.
take the next examination, right?
Yeah, once we have done with our life, I mean, see, we are here to be examined for certain movements, you see. When we are properly examined, they say, okay, go home and wait for the result. And the result lies in the heavens or in hell. There is no need to come back. And this is a wrong idea, because the avagan is one of the most stupid ideas. Let's say behind it is the theory of karma. Karma. Let's say if I don't do good in this world, how is it possible that again I am born as a dog or a cat? Do I have the same brain? Can I feel the same pain? See? If a human being dies and is reborn as what?
A human being,
A human being.
always.
So when I'm being punished again and again, what's the use of this? Is God, I mean, say, so incapacitated that he cannot realize that I have not given him the capacity to improve. If he just examines you just once and then sends you off, you go to the other galaxies.
Acha.
You are finished over here. I call the grave as a gateway of galaxies.
Acha.
The moment you go to the grave, your option is either good or bad galaxies beyond that. Because the time space of the world is different and the time space in the other place is very different. So you are handed over to another time and space. How can you come back? It's not possible. It's not possible. The time and space changes. So your time and space in this is suited to this body. You cannot come back from the other world to be in the same space and same time. See, the time and space changes. You change. Only you can say, this is my house next day, next galaxy. So this, I call this particularly, this is my own thought process, that this grave is the gateway to the galaxies. Now it's up to you. What galaxy do you choose in your life to behave, to enact and act? So I wish you pass. I wish you pass.
Thank you.
And there is only one password to pass. There is one password to pass. If you are living in the days of Muhammad Rasulullah, so we are living in the age of Muhammad Rasulullah because there was no other prophet. When I was if I was in the times of Moses, and then another prophet came, and he said, look here, I am the prophet. Then we had to commit La ilaha illallah, Moses, our Christ, Isa, Kalamatullah, Ya Rasulullah. Now their time is gone, and the last prophet is Muhammad Rasulullah. This stamp will go to the end. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. You need this stamp at the time when you will be asked a question at the grave. Are you coming from here? Yes, sir. What did you learn? What do you ask? Who was your God? Who was your God? The question is, who was your God? La ilaha illallah. Correct. So who was your prophet? Muhammad Rasulullah. Okay, fine. Go.
Gotcha. So maybe if we...
But this is an examination hall. This is not a part of the universe. This is a created part in which you have been allotted a different space, different time. This does not exist up there. You go 14 years ahead, there is no oxygen. You can't live there. So this is specially created for a class to be tested. You are sent into barracks. These are barracks.
Yeah.
Everywhere you cannot act on your own. Wherever you go, you know the stops are there, gaps are there. So these are barracks. And barracks are properly barricaded with lot of seas. You can't cross the earth. Lot of you see skies up there, you can't move on. And even if you move with power, like you see a rocket and this and that, you just can't cross the universes. So we are barricaded. Everywhere we have barracks.
So this is like the examination hall and the training room in the same one?
Simple examination. There are only two questions which are asked after your death. Who are your God? Who is your prophet? You know them? That's what we should know.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm very sure about that. That's not only in Islam. It's from all religions. They will tell you these are the questions which are asked when you leave here. Simple two questions. Who was your God? Man Rabboka. This guy, Man Rabboka. Who was your God? Man Nabiyoka. Who was your prophet? Let's say if I was born in Moses' time, I would say Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Then if I was born in Christ's day, I would say Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. But since the time is over and the ruling contract is with Prophet Muhammad, he was the last So you have to name the last of the Prophet who replaced all others in the end. And now you have said La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. That's it.
Yes. Why is the Prophet so important?
Why is the Prophet so important?
Yeah.
We never knew about God anywhere. Nowhere. We always forget. Why was these nations destroyed, I must say? The prophets always come to give you the memory of the first human people in heaven. We have not, you see, we are not inhabitants of this earth. Because the question will go first. How was the first apple created? How was the first almond tree created? How was the first, you see, waters created? All questions are unreliably unanswered. You cannot have one answer at the end. So this will be a wrong question by an Rafique. Who's God? And you have to answer first, I don't know God. I don't know where does he live. But I know where an almond tree is. I know where the sea is. I know you people would say that life was born in the seas. How? Why? From where did they come? First life cell. They would say from the outside. Well, from where outside? You know nothing about the first question. So we have no choices except to say yes. The one who knows, he tells us. The only one who knows is God. So he tells us in the book. He tells you in the Genesis. He tells you in the book of Christ. In the New Testament. He tells you in the Quran. And that's what I've given you enough information. That's all. That's all. No more information. So no book of God has come after the Quran. No book. He's finished the information and the message. He has told you, I'm there. These are my prophets. Listen to them. They'll give you the clue way back. Now I'm telling you something. There was a philosopher of the past who was a Plotinus of the Alexandria. And he gave the theory of 9 intelligences. And he said every intelligence is blocked in the way. But except for the human beings, they have a way back. Every other intelligence is blocked. They cannot go back to the God's will. They have to turn into the rubbish again. And the matter will turn into energy again. But this human being will retain its consciousness even the day of energy. They will be asked, you were given this qualification. You were proud of being an egocentric human being. And why didn't you think about me? Why did? The question is not being asked from the stones, it's asked from us. The fastest way to back to God is biokinetic. But no plant will be asked this question. I will be asked. I will be asked this question. Because I was given a special. I was a robot who was specially designed for artificial intelligence. All you see on earth is a play of that artificial intelligence. You gave intelligence to certain robots, but after 3 months you realize that they were talking to each other. Do you know this experiment? Yeah. They gave artificial intelligence a few robots to see. And after some time they started they were talking in such a secret language which humans had no knowledge. So they killed them.
Wow.
You know how?
No, they pulled the plug.
They plugged them off. That's what happens with us. We are plugged off.
Okay. So maybe my final question for today. We have these different parts in ourselves. We have parts which are very much drawn to worldly things like money, fame, success, etc. And at the same time, at least, I think some people or all people experience it to a certain degree, is the wish to be reconnected with God. How do you have any advice on navigating this?
Why? We have seen some very artificial, the lost civilizations like this on YouTube, etc. You must have. I mean, you know, there were very many lost civilizations. Lost civilization. This is a particular word, is a lost civilization. And we know for sure we will be a lost civilization someday. So these lost civilizations, why these lost civilizations? Why were they destroyed and why were they created? The same question which I am telling you now. And when they were lost, there was nothing came out of it. Nobody, even you have to dig a lot and to find one replica of a lost civilization. The day will be that we are also very close to our destiny. Your scientists tell you are only here for 300 more years. This is what you see, the dying scientists of yours. How can say? You are only here for 300 years. You will be short of everything. Water will finish, air will be polluted. You cannot live unless you create new colonies and you manage for your oxygen, manage for your water. So we very shortly, I guess, this era is going to come. Not in your life or my life, but it is going to come. Because you cannot keep on using unlimitedly the limited sources of earth. Let's say if coal, it is going to burn, it's not going to come back again as a mountain of coal. If you spend water, it's being drunk, it may serve some other purpose, but not as a drinking water again. The water that crosses down the bridges never comes back, you know this.
Yeah.
So we are exhausting our sources on earth, so we have to die. Whether you do it or you accept it or not, whether there is an atheist or a believer, they have to. But we believe there is satisfaction with somebody who knows everything about this and he knows another place for you. Cross over the border and you'll get it. Hell or heaven, whatever it is, you'll get it. Nobody is going to die. But this earth has its own blocks. This is not going to. How can we can create 10,000 more mountains and more, you see, water storages and this and that? We cannot. Because this is a word of limitation. This is a word of limitation. Everywhere you see the countries are telling you the air is being polluted, the water, drinking water is now coming to an end and this and that. That you see the mountains are getting barren without ice. We are using our mind. So we have only one word. When we cross over, I think we will get a better place. Jannah is not an awkward idea. Jannah. Have you ever seen a mountain with stones? No.
You mean with separate buildings?
Yes, have you ever seen a mountain glittering with you see, a coal mountain glittering with diamonds? No, but they are there.
Mm-hmm.
So suppose in 5 billion years, if a mountain has a lot of, you see, diamond in it, after 10 billion years, the whole mountain can be a mountain of gold. Don't accept this. We have a mountain over here in Savar.
Mm-hmm.
It has, you see, emerald in it. When you move, you can see a green streak in the mountain. And they will tell you it's a touch of emerald. And I keep on thinking after 2-3 billions, the whole, if this is turning one part of the mountain in emerald, after 2-3 billions, the whole mountain could be a mountain of emerald. That's Jannah. There is some space over there which has fully spent 13 billion years, and everything there has changed with the time, with the suns, with everything. You can build a house not with stones but with emeralds. You can build a house with diamonds. Because the time changes them all, I must say. A coal is changed into a diamond. Anything can change into emerald, anything. So Jannah is not, you see, a simple a madness of thought. It's well exhibited scientific fact.
Thank you very much.
May Allah bless you. May Allah bless you. But tell me one thing.
Yes.
You want to be a mystic?
I think so, yes.
And you want to know which way? You want to know the way to God? It's a very simple question. If you say yes, then I would ask you, why are you wasting time? For how many years you have been a Christian?
10.
10.
Yes.
10 years you think you have achieved the vicinity of God?
To a certain degree, yes.
By what?
Introspection, visualization, meditation.
What did that meditation help you and where?
Helped me clear out some of my fears.
What is your name?
Niels.
Huh?
Niels.
Niels.
Yes.
N
I
I
L S.
L
S.
S.
Yes.
You call him Niels?
Yes.
Yes. You know one thing about yourself? You are extremely sensitive by birth. And you always wanted to speak loud and clear, and you wanted to be a debater, express. It has always been, you see, back in your heart, it's always closed. You are so meticulous that you get upset even small things move around. And another thing, you are very possessive of your ideas. It is becoming very difficult for you to leave one idea for the other. Your habits are perfect. Your love lies in SH and M, you know. Any woman who crosses along with your path with the name of M or SH, she'll eat you up feathers. Are you married?
No.
So why don't you get married also? You are very hard working, but this is a different kind of knowledge. This is one of the Quranic knowledges. It's not found in any other book of religion. Number one. You know people. You know themselves. You know yourselves. You see? Now, the religion established its authority on others by one thing. By one thing. Scientists have a wrong claim that they know better. A true man of God knows much more better about everything which is here, which is there, which is to come, which is to lose. Now, when you were talking of your thesis, I was wondering if they had the capacity to know there is too late. I think.
You don't think so?
It's not possible. When you are searching for somebody, some real truth in God, you must understand. You only can go to a teacher who knows your capacity to understand. And about everything else, you need a power also. You have somewhere a phenomena, but you could lead people to a certain sense of dignity, and that you yourself you could command things very well. But do you think this is not a part of spiritualism or mysticism?
Absolutely.
I told you we have to quit these images of power in our, but not with a defeat. We should get over them. I'll give you, whether it's Christianity or Islam. They both believe in God. But interestingly, in certain languages, there are no words to give a single expression to God. Let's say, if I say, Ya Salam, so I say, I am appreciating the name of the God who rules all mental conditions and who gives peace at heart and peace at mind. Do you have any such single word in your language?
Amen.
Amen is a different word. Let's say, like me, I do one tasbih. I say, Ya Salam, Ya Mu'min, Ya Allah, Ya Salam, Ya Mu'min, Ya Allah, Ya Salam, Ya Mu'min. In one, you see, bead, I say, I appreciate three names of God, the one who gives peace to mind, the one who gives peace to heart, and the one who rules the universe. Ya Salam, Ya Mu'min, Ya Allah. Do you have all this in your language? You have sentences.
Not one word, no. We have
No single word. No single word. In entire mythology, in entire mythology of Scandinavian, the country you belong, there is a word fanfare. There is a word Valhalla, the castle of Valhalla. But they are buildings, not the name of God. You see. Maybe Valhalla is an equivalent to Jannah. The word is equivalent to Jannah. But you know, when they were to send somebody to hell, they would say, okay, be murdered and we'll see you in Valhalla castle, the castle after death. So then nobody has a single word. So this facility lies with the Quran and with us. Okay, with one single word, Rahman, when I say Ya Rahman, O Rahman, so I mean a God who is very kind, beneficent and very close. That's the quality. That's why we go on with. Hindus have those names. Hindus. Anyone, those they Jews have. But they only have one single word. Jews have only one single word. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. So when you go to Hindu, they will say Ishwar, 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 Ishwar. They then say Om, Om, Om. But with us, there are 99 names of God. As I told you before, they are still studying in matriculations and primaries. And we have gone to the PhD classes. So once you want to know about the religious experiences, you should at least finish your subject in religion. I'll give you the details. Even if you don't do anything, if you will find the effect of it in a month or so, inshallah. You will find that I found something. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'll translate it with you. In English.
Urdu is not very good.
Only you should know the meaning. You can read that and you should know the meaning.
Yes, that's important.
So what do you intend to do for a living?
Facilitate groups of people, run workshops, design products and services.
You want to be a leader, man.
Yes, I know.
No.